Yes, people, welcome back to the first 11. It is the EFL show, Leagues 1 and 2. I'm joined by Aaron and Charlie. How are we doing, lads?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. Cheers for having us on again.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Can't wait to get started, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We've got lots to talk about. Obviously, we've got Darren Moore leaving Doncaster. We've had Lambert leaving Ipswich. We've got Cottrell, who's gone back into hospital with COVID issues as well. So lots to talk about, and a lot of good results this weekend. I'm smiling. I'm buzzing.
Yeah, me too.
I'm well happy.
Me too.
Aaron, on the other hand, isn't quite as happy as us, but we'll get straight into it. Wimbledon, Hull. Obviously, Wimbledon are in the relegation zone. Hull have been in awful form recently. I mean, horrific. But Hull 3-0 winners. I mean, not really anything to be shocked about, really. There is it.
2 penalties, 3 points.
Yeah, pretty simple stuff. Obviously, Wimbledon fighting relegation, but obviously Hull seem to be doing better away than they are at home. So, but yeah, it was a good win for them to get back on track.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Wimbledon had more of the ball, but like 6 less shots and just couldn't get any in the goal. But that to not be that was to be expected. Wimbledon really struggling at the moment. But the next game, obviously, Charlie, it was Bristol Rovers versus Shrewsbury. 2-1 winners. Barton hasn't assaulted anyone, so jobs are good at the moment.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously good. He had a few more days on the training ground. Obviously, you had a bad result the other night against Wigan, but yeah, his first proper week he's had really to. I mean, to be honest with you, should have been 3 or 4. You wouldn't have thought Shrewsbury were, top 4, top 5 informed teams in the league, and yeah, should have been 3 or 4-0, but we got the job done. Quality first goal, about 20 passes, and got it across for Leahy. Got his. I think it was his 10th goal this season as a left back, so which is mental. And then got another one, but we made it a bit dodgy for ourselves, like we always do. Shrewsbury had 1 shot on target the whole game, and they scored it with 2 minutes to go. Then our keeper got injured, Joe Day, so we had to bring on our backup keeper, Dutch keeper Jordi van Stappershoff, and luckily made a save. But yeah, it was a great win and definitely one of the best performances of the season.
Yeah, and it sort of dragged you out of relegation at the moment. Obviously, Barton, with Joey Barton, you're not getting relegated. Let's not get it twisted. I think you're too good as well. But Shrewsbury, on the other hand, I mean, they're slowly getting dragged into something which might be a bit worrying for them. But moving on carry on.
I was going to say with Shrewsbury, I think it's been a very, very hard few months with what's happened with their manager Steve Cottrell, and I know, everyone here on the EFL show wishes Steve Cottrell and his family the best of wishes from his recovery from COVID pneumonia. It was officially announced on social media by the club. So it's been a very hard week, and it's not very nice to see Shrewsbury dragged into what could be a potential relegation battle, because I think they've had some good talent, and I think that they're too good to go down as well. So I think it's just a case here of 2 teams that don't deserve to go down, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And Shrewsbury were looking quite safe, but as the sort of weeks go by, they're slowly getting dragged into it. But Blackpool, they had to go to the Valley. And they got 3 goals, 2 red cards for Charlton, and 2 penalties for Blackpool. I mean, entertaining would be an understatement. And Charlton have now gone below Plymouth Argyle. Enjoy looking up at us. And Blackpool are still below us. So the Blackpool actually did us a favour there. But entertaining game.
Well, I've got to say on this, I've got to speak out this because I've noticed the result. I've watched back over the highlights of that result. I've watched back over some of the action, and Blackpool deserve 100% of the credit. Neil Critchley's done a wonderful job down there at the seaside. Jerry Yates, for me, is one of my star men to pick out from that Blackpool team. From a Charlton perspective, it's only a matter of time now before Lee Bowyer gets the sack. It's got to be a matter of time before Thomas Sangard, the brand new owner of Charlton Athletics, puts his foot down and says, you know what, you're not taking us any further. We need to bring in someone new. And I think that for a Charlton perspective, I don't see them getting promoted this year. I think it's just going to be about seeing out the rest of the season, and then the first full season with the brand new owner can be a completely new season when they can look at getting promoted.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, yeah.
That's all.
I mean,
2 shots, none on target.
Yeah, it's been awful. It's been awful for Charlton. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure since they beat us, I don't think they've hardly won a game, and they struggled a lot at home. And like you said, Bowyer's under massive pressure. But fair play to Blackpool. Since we beat them a couple of months ago, they've been on a really good run, and they've got games in hand as well. And like Aaron said, Jerry Yates is on fire, so they got a good chance getting in the playoffs.
It seems like every team you beat just makes them look better. First Plymouth, then Blackpool.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. But the game after we're going to talk about is also quite favourable to us. I mean, this weekend's been quite favourable to us. I'm not going to lie. It finished Crewe 2, Sunderland 2. Everyone keep taking points off Sunderland. I mean, that would be ideal. Drag them right down to our planet Earth.
Please.
Because we're catching them. We're catching them. But 2-2, it looked, well, from the stats, it looks like a fairly fair result. Crewe doing better than I actually thought they would, because we were with them last season. And there was one team I just absolutely thought they were crap. I was like, nah, you are so far bad, it's unreal. But
if I was picking 2 out of those 4 promoted teams out of League 2 to go down this season, it would have been probably Crewe and Swindon.
Yeah.
Swindon dragged into that relegation battle, but Crewe were one of the teams that I thought, you know what, maybe compared to some of the teams in there, compared to some of the talent in there back when we had Ben Whiteman, for example, I think that Crewe could have struggled. But I'll tell you something now. Academy of Football, bringing through these younger players, bringing through this bread of talent, and the manager's done an incredible job with Crewe Alexandra. So I could see Crewe being a future championship club. I could see them generally going up a level with the progress they've made this season. It's only going to get better and better from here.
I don't like the manager.
To be fair, he's done wonders. I think they've been one of the, along with Accrington Stanley, Crewe and a few other teams that have come up, even Plymouth. They've all done well, and Crewe, they play a good style of football. I think they're missing an out and out goal scorer. I think if they had a proper goal scorer up front, I think there'd be even more there. But no, he's doing well. I can't remember his name. What's his name? The manager. It's gone out of my head. The Crewe manager.
I can't remember his name.
David Artell.
I know his face.
David Artell.
Yeah, David Artell. Because we had a game with him at Owen Park, and all the man did was moan like a bitch. He was just moaning at the referee, moaning at the 4th official. I'm pretty sure at one point during the match, Ryan Lowe turned round to him to ask him to shut up.
It's like Jose Mourinho.
Literally. He's a twat, but he is doing very well with Crewe, and they're sort of level on points with us. They're keeping up. Or no, they're 1 point below us, and they're keeping up quite well. I'm surprised you said that it was Crewe and Swindon, because I thought Northampton coming up was always going to end badly.
Yeah, they're awful.
I sort of took Northampton's form towards the end of League 2 and what they did during the playoff campaign as a bit of inspiration to see that maybe they'd be staying up under Keith Curle, but obviously it's not exactly gone down that well over at Sixfields.
What they did to Exeter will live in my memory.
Yeah, trust me, absolutely battered, didn't they?
It was a wonderful. I got a chance to watch that match as a neutral and online, and it was a brilliant demolition 4-0 win, and it was a wonderful win. So, I mean, probably. I don't see Exeter going up to League 1, so I think we'll probably see that match again in League 2.
Yeah,
Exeter getting promoted would be more like me winning the lottery, which is also a very slim chance. Exeter are down in the dumps. They're missing us, but unfortunately for them, they're not going to be joining them anytime soon. I went onto their Twitter after they bottled it, and they were like,
he was buzzing mine.
Oh, I was absolutely buzzing. They were like, why do you have our notifications on? I was like, I don't. I have BBC Evans sports notifications on, and this one popped up, and I thought I'd come and say hello.
This is a Plymouth fan's dream.
Yeah, literally.
It is beautiful. As I said, this weekend was very good for us because another team that we need to drop points. Fleetwood won, Accrington won. I mean, Accrington, I don't think they should be anywhere near where they are in terms of if we were to put it on paper, but doing an amazing job. Do you think they'll sort of like maybe bottle it a bit now, or?
I mean, it depends. I think their two strikers have been bang on form. Charles and Brain's gone blank again, but their two strikers up front are on fire, and it's crazy. I mean, you should have seen my vlog a couple of weeks ago. They battered us 6-1, and I was raging. But he's doing a good job, and they hit the post a few times, but Fleetwood also missed a last-minute penalty, didn't they? Josh Morris hasn't scored since October, and he awful penalty.
Yeah, I give my respects to Accrington Stanley. I think that, first of all, Fleetwood, Simon Grayson getting the reins a bit now. So hopefully they'll steady the ship for another League One season next season. But from an Accrington perspective, I give my heart to John Coleman because he's done a wonderful job over at Stanley. He's achieved every expectation possible. I think all that Accrington's missing now is the right kind of capacity for the stadium. I think they've got the stadium of a League One, League Two club. But where they are right now and the ambitions they're going for at the minute, I think they need to be getting a nice 10,000, 12,000 capacity stadium ready for the championship level, because I think they will reach that level at some point in the next few years. Mark my words.
Totally agree. Everyone smash the like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Keep getting your comments in. We'll go through them in a minute. I just want to address this one. Charlie, what eggs to go in and go up if the season wasn't null and void? Don't be ridiculous.
No,
that was always going to be Swindon, Argyle, Crew, and City were going to sit there and take it like they normally do.
But next season, if you guys are still in League One next season, I would keep an eye out for the League Two teams coming up this year, because it looks like it's going to be the likes of Cambridge and Forest Green Rovers being the
quite local teams. Vegan FC.
I was in League Two with them last season, and I'm not afraid. I'm really not. The quality of League Two is.
I've been keeping an eye on Forest Green Rovers over the last few years. I've kept an eye on them ever since they had that massive unbeaten start, along with Man City a few years ago when they were under Adi Pennick in the National League, and they've come up a long way, and they've got this new stadium planned maybe in the future. So they're becoming a bigger and bigger club, and they could be a big club. And also Cambridge going through the ranks as well. So I think they're two teams to maybe be the surprises out of League Two next season.
Yeah. I mean, there's potential. If Exeter come up, it would be nice to get a Devon derby. I mean, last season we didn't get to greet them at home park after they beat us 4-0, which was Ryan Lowe's first Devon derby, and admittedly, he came out and was very sorry after that. You can imagine someone like Kevin Nanskville, our first team coach, was like, "You need to apologise right now. These fans are going to kill you if you don't." And then after that, we went on like a 15-game unbeaten run.
Maybe they don't.
I think Salford City will be a good class next season.
I remember Salford. We got a last-minute winner against them, and the away end was bouncing like anything. It was a beautiful moment. But we're going to talk a little bit about Doncaster next, because how you didn't win this. Looking at the stats, I mean, Darren Moore has blood on his hands by the looks of it, because Ipswich had 26% of the possession, 10 shots and 5 on target, compared to your 74% possession, 17 shots and 7 on target. How did Ipswich beat you 2-1?
Clinical. That's all you can say.
It was
clinical.
It was clinicalness, and I think looking after the events of today, I think it was the final straw for Darren Moore. The evidence suggests that the decision was made before the match about his future. He was looking to talk to someone anyway, from the looks of it, and it looked like he couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I think he was putting out his best 11. The team couldn't be asked for the last 10 minutes of the match. It was like watching Arsenal play on a regular basis. It was like they couldn't be asked, and it was just like it was the part of the strongest team, and it was just like watching Arsenal. It's like they couldn't be asked to try, and you've got so much exciting first team talent on there, and again, wrong substitutions. He brings Josh Sims off, who was a dangerous threat for the whole game he was on. He brings him off, and he doesn't bring off. Yeah, Josh Sims is absolute quality, but he brings him off. He keeps Okunabiri on. He keeps Bogle on, and both of them were rubbish, absolutely tripe. And he brings on James Coppinger, and there was one particular moment I noticed with 10 minutes to go, which confirmed to me they did not give a flying one. But yeah, he's 40. So he was one of the ones that were trying when he came on the pitch. And Bostock had the ball with about 10 minutes to go. He was waiting for the forward runs. Everyone stood still. Every single player, Lekilo, Taylor, Richards to an extent, everyone, Bogle, Okunabiri, everyone stood still. And no forward runs were made. Bostock was the one player that was trying in that last 10, 15 minutes. Rest of them couldn't be asked. And I think looking at the events of today, it was the final straw. And 4 defeats in 5 with a draw in that mix as well in that last 5 games. I'm sorry, with all that talk, he needed to go. He needed to go.
Your run of form has been very nice for me to watch. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm always honest. As an Argyle fan that's wanting to get playoffs, seeing Doncaster falling like this, it's been very pleasing to see, because we've narrowed that gap to 4 points. Obviously, you have got 3 games in hand, but you're going to have to win them first. It just makes getting that playoffs just that little bit more believable. And we'll come to my game in a minute. But it has been nice to watch. I don't know about you, Charlie. Have you been watching that far up the table, or?
Yeah, mate. Literally, I watch every league, that's obviously especially League One, but it's been crazy, hasn't it? You know, all season teams dropping points, different teams going on spells. It's going to be interesting to see. Like, you know, Aaron said, they've got games in hand, but is Darren Moore leaving going to give them a boost, or is it going to be a negative effect? It's going to be interesting, obviously, for Aaron's point of view and all the rest of the Donny fans. Will they do well, or will it have a bad effect on them? It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be tight. A couple of comments here. Chris saying X always bottle it. To be fair, honest, that's fine. But as a Carlisle fan, I can't say anything about bottling things. I mean, yeah, we'll get to League 2 in a bit. Liam, big up Liam, my fellow Janner. Up the Argyle, me and I were talking on Twitter before how we are on a good run. We could sneak into the playoffs, and hopefully Donny and Pompey draw tomorrow. That is the ideal result, literally ideal.
Someone's going to lose. I'll be honest. Someone's going to lose that game. Someone is going to lose that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I just hope it's a draw personally, because the Salford Stadium is like Sabutia. I mean, he's not far wrong. He's not far wrong. But apparently, there's a little bit of an agenda against Salford. Charlie's insulting vegans in the chat. I'm not going to post that comment just in case we do have any vegans watching. And who would you get in next for a Doncaster manager? You've got what's his name? Who's taking you?
Andy Butler.
That's the one, Butler. So he's going to be there for the rest of the season. So I think this is sort of like the mini audition to see if he gets it permanently, isn't it?
Yeah, the statement officially is that Butler's been given it to the end of the season. I think his assistant in the youth, I believe, or during the Bell spell, the women's team, Neil Buxton's going to be assistant manager for now, I think, but we haven't confirmed that. It's not going to be decided until after Portsmouth. But I think Butler could be given it permanently next season, but if not, then there is a few names being mentioned out there by a lot of Rovers fans. There's Danny Cowley, who's my personal favourite choice. I think that what he's done with Lincoln and Huddersfield.
Frank Lampard,
he's looking for a new job, isn't he?
Actually, the funny thing is, my favourite is Danny Cowley, because he's a former Lincoln and Huddersfield manager, who's done really, really well. But there's a few fans that have messaged me and said, can we break the bank and get Frank Lampard? And even I was talking to a Chelsea fan today, and he said Frank needs more experience, so maybe it could be a possibility. But if I'm looking at the realistic names that are out there, I think Danny Cowley's one of them. I can officially say that Neil Warnock speaking to the borough chairman on Wednesday about his future and discussing that. So maybe if he's leaving Middlesbrough, Neil Warnock could be a possibility.
There is no way
Plymouth,
I'm letting Neil. I'm not letting
Neil Warnock.
I'm not letting Neil Warnock upset me. He's a club legend and he shall forever remain like that. So stay at Middlesbrough, Neil. You're doing a great job. Love you a bit, but don't go Doncaster. I don't want you upsetting me.
But yeah, there's other names as well. I think.
What about Rafa Benitez? Charlie says.
Yeah, why not? Chuck it.
I mean,
chuck him in there. Be a bit closer to Newcastle, wasn't it?
Again, another name. I had some dream additions. I had some dream names listed. I had the likes of Thierry Henry and Liam. And there was actually, to be fair, I was talking to a Chelsea fan, and there was a Brighton fan that actually commented something as well about a few names. There's 2 Chelsea coaches. There's a set piece and defensive coach called Anthony Barry, and there's a youth coach called, I think it's Joy something. I can't remember his full name, but they're both could be options. But also there is Liam Rosenwar, who's been rising through the ranks through Brighton and Derby, who could be a good number 1 in the future. He's assistant at Derby at the minute. So maybe take a gamble on Liam Rosenwar if we're going to take a gamble. But my personal favourite would be Danny Cowley or Rafael Benitez.
Cowley. I think would be a clash shot. But but to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Frank Lampard against Joey Barton. I think that'd be a good game, wouldn't it? But nah,
I would be ecstatic if Frank Lampard became manager. Absolutely ecstatic.
Imagine the scenes, mate.
So, would you take Pep at Doncaster?
I'll have Chelsea fans in my messages. Begging me to take the coaches.
I mean,
there's no way Pep is leaving City soon. Indiana wants Pep at United, Donny. That's why he's saying that.
But moving on, MK Dons Oxford. I mean, that was a 1-1. Nothing really to say about that. I mean, both.
Mate, Oxford. How Oxford didn't win that game? They was all over them. And also, one bit of news, if anyone hasn't seen it today, Chelsea youngster used to have a massive hype about 10 years ago. Josh McEachran's just signed for MK Dons on a free, which is mental considering. I literally remember when I was about 13, 14 and he was coming through the ranks and he was named this big next talent. Now he's at MK Dons, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad shout there. Anything else to say on the MK Dons Oxford game? I mean, it didn't look the most clinical anyway.
No, it didn't look. It didn't. No, it didn't look the most exciting. But what I will say about MK Dons is they are making a lot of really good experienced signings over the last 12 months. Andrew Sermon, Mark Pugh, I think, Charlie Daniels, I think. I know that's
Jerome. Cameron Jerome as well. He's done well.
Cameron
Jerome.
Cameron Jerome, Andrew Sermon. They've signed Josh McCaffrey. Yeah, they signed Josh McCaffrey today as well. So again, that's a good experienced midfielder from Championship as well as Yo-Yo Premier League levels. So Russell Slade's doing a good job there with MK Dons.
Yeah,
Russell Martin. Sorry.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, MK Dons, they're going to get mid-table this season, but next season is when to really look out for them because I think once they all click and it all gels, that could be ugly to watch. Peterborough versus Wigan. We'll glance over this one. I don't want to hit a man when he's down, so we won't batter Wigan too much. But losing to Peterborough is it's not embarrassing. They're top of the league for a reason, and they're about to walk the rest of the league, I think. 2-1 winners. I mean, Peterborough, as I said, they're probably going to walk the league. Wigan, they might go down. It's one of them. They had Sheridan at the start of the season, and Sheridan decided now I'm going to go to Swindon, I think. So you've had
he went to Swindon. I mean, but to be fair to Wigan, they're fighting. They had I seen the highlights. I don't know about the actual stats, but I seen the highlights, and Wigan had a lot of chances. Yeah, Christy Pym had to make a lot of good saves, and obviously obviously, who would be the man to score for Peterborough? Of course, it would be Clark Harris, mate. One of the deadliest strikers up there with Ivan Toney in the Football League.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. What I will say on the Peterborough game is, from a Peterborough point of view, very good win. From a Wigan point of view, again, it's just not kick a man while he's down, because we've got to think again. They haven't got an owner at the minute. They're still got a takeover through by the crime in football known as the EFL. John Sheridan's,
and they beat us.
Yeah, exactly. And John Sheridan's left for.
What's that?
Wasn't it good old Scott Wooten?
Oh, mate, you should have seen that. Mate, it was the 2 goals from set pieces. It was a shambles. 95th minute.
Scott Wooten. Do love a bit of Scott Wooten.
Oh,
what I will say about Wigan is, Sheridan left him for Swindon as well and joined Salford. And, I think with Wigan, I think it's just a case of they need a complete rejuvenation, a brand new owner. This might be a long shot, but I think one manager that kind of brought them that Premier League success in terms of staying up and trying to fight was Roberto Martinez. And maybe he comes along with a Spanish takeover. I don't know. But I think from a Wigan point of view, I think it's just a case of, like Bolton, go down to League Two and come back fighting.
No, they can't. I mean, for me personally, I think they need to stay up, because if they're
only a point away.
Yeah, I mean, they've been
they can
scoring.
Survive,
yeah,
but they can put more pressure on themselves if they stay up. So it'd be interesting.
I mean, I think it's different, because Bolton have got everything sorted now with the takeover and the money and the manager. They're doing well.
The league.
Yeah, I feel really sorry for Wigan fans, how they were 12th last season in the Championship, and they got the obviously the points deduction and got relegated. But hopefully they stay up. I like Wigan and their fans.
And once again, the English Football League has let through a bad owner and ruined a football club. So how many years is it going to take before this gets sorted to get Rick Parry out of ownership?
What with the
shambles?
EFL, we're looking at fucking years, mate.
Shambles.
Absolute
shambles.
I mean, I've seen financial difficulties at Argyle before, so
he's a former Premier League director. He's a former Premier League director. So what does that say about everything? He's an absolute shambles of a human being.
Yeah, he's a disgrace. We'll move to Portsmouth versus Gillingham. It finished 1-1. Gillingham are sitting somewhere in the table,
sort of like bottom to mid-table-ish.
Yeah.
Portsmouth are going through their yearly bottle job bit that they normally go through. Can't sound too disappointed. But Gillingham actually looked like they could have had a win there. They had more chances, just not taking them really.
Yeah. I'd say that about Gillingham. I think that Gillingham deserve 3 points, and I think for Portsmouth, I'll say this now: if Portsmouth don't go up, bye jacket, jacket. They don't go up.
And Argyle will finish above you, Pompey, if you keep dropping points, and you don't want that to happen, because we will be louder next year. Well, if we're in the same league, that is.
Even we'll finish above Portsmouth. I've got confidence now.
I wouldn't be unconfident about it. You've got games in hand over them as well. It's more Sunderland and Portsmouth I'm looking at. I'm looking at closing that gap, which is more than doable.
Yeah.
6 points behind Sunderland and 7 points.
I think the true playoff race towards the end of the season, towards the final day, I think the sort of
it's going to be quality.
The race to get the playoffs will be for the last 2 playoff places, not the first 2. Because I think the first 2 will be. I think the top 4 will fight for the 2 playoffs and the 2 automatics.
Totally agree. A couple of comments here. James Coppinger, 39 years old. He's a Donny legend on FM, so why not?
800 appearances for the club. 800.
Yeah, it's mental. And also, he's 40. He's even a year older than that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Aaron, he's 40, isn't he?
He's 40 years old, and he's got that experience now, along with Andy Butler, to help lead the team through wins now. And we've got that. I mean, his opening statement, Andy Butler, and this resonates with Coppinger as well. Butler's opening statement as manager on a temporary basis is, "I will do everything for this club." Darren Moore didn't say that when he came into about 18 months ago. He just said, he just said, we'll do our best.
I'm sensing a little bit of anger towards Moore.
because it was midway through a season of promise, and he could have stayed and helped us and could have turned the form around. But the first sign of defeat in a row, it was like, nah, I'm jumping ship to a club that don't give a hell about me. I'm jumping ship to Sheffield Wednesday that could go down anyway. So I think
plus what is it? Money.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the only positive to take out of this season, hopefully, if all goes well, is that we'll be flying high on the stairway to heaven, and Darren Moore goes down the stairway to hell.
I mean, what an analogy! What an analogy!
Class,
Charlie saying if the Premier League teams need a winger, call up Oldham and sign Bahambula.
Oh mate, I've seen his goal the other night. His goal the other night was class. Little flip flap and finesse shot into the top corner.
I think him, Cordoba, who's now at Man City from Rochdale, Josh Sims for us, and Siriki Dembele, top 4 wingers in this league.
Yeah, Dembele is unbelievable.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, there's not a lot to say about that. Charlie saying, will you open the lines anymore? Not tonight. We will at some point, though. We have done a couple of weeks ago, but we might at some point in the future redo that again. He also says fuck the EFL, and I have to agree with him there.
Yeah, completely.
Indiana saying League One's Zlatan is James Coppinger.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy though. Like how like you don't even see that anymore. Players staying at one club and playing over 800 games. That's crazy.
And you know what the kicker is? The kicker is in that whole game. Once again, James Coppinger, 17 years later, is the man that keeps us out of trouble again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is
crazy.
But moving on, we'll talk about Argyle. Oh, we will. Now,
talking about Argyle all night, mind.
If you're an Argyle fan, you're gonna know exactly what happens in terms of second half, and normally goes badly. But the run of the game, great start. Watts getting a goal after 3 minutes. Mayer then knocking a second in after 13 minutes, and then standard Argyle. Halftime happens. Ryan Lowe chucks him a load of marijuana, lets them all have a little toke, sends them back on the football pitch, and then in the 59th minute, we just chuck away another penalty. It's like, yeah, you have an equaliser, lads. And then in the 62nd minute, here's another penalty, boys. Go take the lead. We are goal. We like to do it difficult. Conor Grant then in the 70-something minute gets us 3-3. And then who else but Joe Edwards in the 91st minute to chuck that ball past Lincoln's keeper, Alex Palmer. I don't feel sorry one bit for him. You was at Argyle last season, but you're at Lincoln now, so you're a rival now. And Edwards chucking in a winner to take all 3 points. You couldn't have asked for a harder way to do it, but we finally get there in the end.
That's a quality win. Win.
110%.
I wouldn't say that.
I'll give credit to Lincoln.
No, trust me.
You know what I will say, though, from both teams' perspectives? I will say
Lincoln.
Well, I'll give credit to Lincoln for staying in it, because Plymouth gave them a lot of fight, and Lincoln did stay in it to some extent. So, and that's why they're
2 penalties.
Well, exactly. Well, to be fair, I say I give fight to Lincoln because you could see where they are for a reason with the goals they scored. You could see where they were. You could see that they were chasing the title. You could see they were chasing automatics this season under Appleton. So we'll give them a little bit of credit. But Plymouth, fair play to you. And I think that that striker of yours, Luke Jeffcott,
plus he didn't even start. He didn't even start that game either.
Well,
he was on the bench and they still won.
Even if he started this game or not, Luke Jeffcott, mark my words, is one of the best young players, arguably the best young player in this league.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable striker.
Third in the scoring ranks in League One. And last year, he started the season on loan to Truro Town.
That's mad, isn't it?
They call themselves. Then we had a bit of a striker crisis. I think we lost almost every single one of them to injury. And then decided that we'll just take a bite and we'll bring back Luke Jepcott. scores on his debut. Of course, he did score on his debut, and I think he may have got a brace against Carlisle. And then since then, we've just never looked back, and it's been absolutely lovely. Apparently, some Championship sides want him, and I said that Sheffield United paid 20 odd million for Brewster, so we want 25 million for someone who won't fall over the ball.
I think Luke Jeffcott's just risen with the divisions as Plymouth gone up. As Plymouth goes up, he goes up in the stats and he goes up in his value because Jeffcott's just been a real a talisman marksman. And, like Coppinger was for Rovers, I think Luke Jeffcott could be a playing legend for Plymouth in 10, 15 years' time.
Nah, mate, trust me. In the summer,
he just signed a new contract.
In the summer,
a new 3 or 4 year deal contract. He doesn't want to go because, and I'll tell you why he doesn't want to go. He knows that we've got a project, so we've got a thing where we want to become a sustainable Championship club. He doesn't want to go to the Championship with some other club. He wants to go to a Championship with his.
Is that a reference?
I guarantee you, right? If Plymouth don't go up, it'll be gone in the summer. I guarantee you.
If they want to stump up some good cash, then we'll negotiate. But if they don't stump up, because the thing is, we've been naive before where we've let players just walk away. That ain't happening.
Yeah, Trash, you got to do it like Peterborough do it. Like Tony last season, 24 years of age, went from Peterborough in League One to the Championship, 10 million plus 2 million in add-ons, and Jeffcott is 3 or 4 years younger than him.
Yeah,
so he's got to go for at least.
And you look
15,
at Ollie Watkins.
20.
You look at Ollie Watkins, another example. He's gone from League 2 to League 1 to Championship, and now he's a Premier League striker worth 25, 30 million. And when you said it's a long-term project, so he wants to stay on, was that a little cheeky dig at Ben Whiteman by any chance?
No. I'm being genuine. So we've had some really horrific years at Argyle, and when we got relegated to League 2, we had this project that we would become a Championship club within 5 years, a sustainable Championship club. And look, if we can do it, I think even if we don't go up this year, I think he'll give it 1 more year to see if we can do it. Because it's not going to harm him. It's not going to harm him. In fact, it's only going to give him more experience at a league where he can express himself at a club he does love.
Yeah, it's going to make him even better, isn't it? It's going to make him even better. And I think the way Plymouth do play football is class. I remember even when we played you last season, when we nicked that 1-0 win in the FA Cup, the football you play is good. And I think you got a good chance of going up this year.
Well, there's a reason why Plymouth beat us as well. And I was joking. It was just like, I was thinking, well, Ben Whiteman's kind of gone the opposite way in a way. We've got a project going on. And it's like, nah, I'm not stopping. I'm going Preston.
No. Luke Jeffcott, he loves the club. He's been with our academy ever since he was a kid. So he's absolutely in love.
That's the difference. That's the difference. Exactly, Ben Whiteman came from Sheffield United, so he's got that move-on mentality.
He's a proper farmer, old Jeffcott, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Cornish farmer.
And we've got our own. Yeah, we've got one of our own in the nets as well, Mike Cooper.
He's class, isn't he, as well?
He is very good. So he's keeping a few clean sheets, and he's bossing that defense around a bit now. It's good to see.
Yeah.
But moving on, we'll quickly just speak about these. Rochdale lost to Burton 2-0. They've been on the up recently. Hasselbank is it Hasselbank in charge?
Yeah, Jimmy Floyd.
Yeah, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's just gone from strength to strength, and I could see Burton staying up this season because he's just took that club to new heights. And I think I say next season, like MK Dons is one to watch. I say Burton's one to watch because they've gone to Championship level before, and I think that Hasselbank could be the guy to take the Brewers back on the beer run. The Brewers on the beer run.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very hard game tomorrow. That's who we got. Burton away, tough game at the bottom. I think they've got 4 wins in 5, and we've got 2 wins in 5. Obviously, come off the back of a win. So I'll be doing another nervy watch along on the channel. If there's anyone wants to watch, feel free. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough game.
Watch Rovers fans looking a bit nervy. And the last one, Swindon versus Northampton. Swindon getting the points on that one. They beat Northampton 2-1. Northampton, as I said, not doing
Northampton, mind.
I think Swindon and Northampton are in trouble. I think we're looking at two sides that could get relegated this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's two teams. That's two teams who we still got to play this season, and we need to win. I mean, I think
we need to play Northampton again in the next few games, and I don't think we've got to play Swindon again unless I'm wrong. So I know we need to play Northampton again, but I think we beat Swindon 3-1, but I think we faced them earlier on as well. Unless I'm wrong. In that case, we have to face them again and hopefully get another 3 points.
It's okay. Northampton have not got an easy game tomorrow. They got Argyle, and they're going.
Yeah, you watch now. 1-0 Northampton.
It's no. So I think it might be if it's a wet action. To be fair, we've lost once all calendar year, so I'm not worried about Northampton.
I'm going for a 3-1 Plymouth win. I think you might concede a late penalty as a consolation goal to make them feel happy about themselves. They took a goal from Plymouth, but
it'll be in the 40 between the 45th and the 60th minute. Knowing how we come out.
Maybe they score against the run of play. Maybe they score against the run of play and then Plymouth fight it back.
Yeah,
probably from a set piece because Plymouth ain't good at set pieces.
No,
we're defending them.
Dog shit at that. But no, it'll be straight after half time that they score because Argyle and half time. I don't know what Ryan Lowe does in there. And Ryan, if you do somehow come across this, please, whatever you're doing at half time, change it up because whatever you're doing, they come out high as a kite, and not in the good way either. But moving to League Two, I picked out the 4 games that really caught my eye. Crawley beating Exeter 2-0. Obviously, that one caught my eye. And obviously, we're going to talk about that. And good old Tom Nichols doing his own old club in it. I love to hear.
Yeah, 100%.
Ex-Rovers player.
Yeah. I'd say with Crawley, I think they've done really, really well this season. I think they're in the position they're in for a reason. I think they've bred through one of our released youth academy stars, Max Waters, and now look where he is after 6 months. He's playing
Cardiff, isn't he?
Playing at the Championship with Cardiff. So, Crawley have done a really good job. Got the old Towie star and Michelle Keegan's partner, Mark Wright. So, they've got a bit of that only way is Essex in them. So I think for Crawley, I think they're out to prove, that Brighton's not the only top Wessex club. So, but well done to them. And I think for Exeter, it's just a case of maybe Exeter down at that level again. I think it's going to be deja vu.
Enjoy yourselves, Exeter. I'm enjoying watching it. We have got one question though. It's a little bit of a quiz. Not that one. That's just telling everyone to smash the like
smash it, share as well.
Share the stream, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much, Indiana.
That wasn't quite the quiz though. This is the quiz. He says, starting with now, FM, think you have one club legend. Who do you think it is? Our club legend.
I've got mine.
Yeah, we got quite a few.
I want to say Paul Watton. He's definitely a club legend.
Has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's either Paul Watton or Neil Warnock. I can't think of any other ones that it could be.
Yeah, it's probably Watton. He played there and he was manager, wasn't he?
Assistant manager. Yeah, it's got to be Paul Watton. Got to be. Aaron, what about you, mate?
That's obvious.
Well, it's so obvious. You know what though? I do have 2. I do have one from the classic days as well. The first guy is obviously Coppinger, current playing legend. The second one is actually a classic attacking player called Alec Jeffrey, and he scored a hell of a lot of goals. Absolutely attacked from the off. Constant attacking threat. I don't know why this guy didn't play at a higher level before. It was just unbelievable for this club, and he played through those classic days in the 1900s. So, classic guy. So
Charlie says there is one at Donny. So I'm presuming it's got to be Coppinger, hasn't it?
It's got to be Coppinger, though. I think on current record, you've got to look at Coppinger and say he is the GO80, should we say. But if we're looking at the classic Rovers back in the 1900s sort of era, we're looking at Alec Jeffrey and Peter Kitchen in the sort of 70s and 80s era kind of thing. So, but Coppinger.
100%. And Charlie, who's the Bristol Rovers one? Tisdale?
Nice one. No, I think there's a
Aaron,
few.
you got yours right.
Probably there's Ian Holloway, Jamie Curran,
yes.
Jason Roberts, Tony Pulis. He was a decent player. A lot of people don't even know he used to play. Oh yeah, obviously, Lambert.
Rovers have
trying
no
to think.
legend but have one icon.
He's having a laugh, isn't he?
That's got to be a joke, right? That's got to be a joke. FM has done Bristol Rovers in there.
FM don't have a clue anyway. What even is FM? Like, I've not even played it, mate.
I would agree with Holloway though. It's Charlie. Even if they haven't got it written in, I would say Holloway is one. I remember being in the Championship when Holloway left us lot. Apparently he's being serious, which is just absolutely hilarious.
What does Football Manager know, mate? I've been supporting Rovers for years. I should know.
But I remember being in the Championship when Holloway left us and went to Leicester. Just being in the away end chanting "fuck off Holloway, Holloway, fuck off Holloway." Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, I was brilliant. But moving on to the other ones. The icon is Ian Holloway. So change icon to legend. I mean, would make sense.
There's about five legends there. So just put them. Just email Football Manager and tell them to put them in.
Yeah, you do that one, Charlie. Bolton 1-0 win over Barrow, who are they're looking like they're getting relegated, and Bolton looking like they've got a last minute playoff push anyway. Could get playoffs either as well. To be fair, but not doing too badly. Bolton are.
I'll give my credit to Bolton. First of all,
winner as well.
Miller
won it. Miller.
Bolton fighting right to the end there. Bolton have really sorted themselves out. Shout out to Thogden and Thogdad, lovely people. Bolton, they support Bolton Wanderers. So, but Bolton Wanderers.
I comment.
That 1-0 in the FA Cup was robbed of a win. That goal was over the line in 90 minutes or whatever. It was so Rovers got so lucky. No wonder we hate Rovers. Lol.
Anzi Yakola, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, fair enough.
He did put 1-0 loss, saying sorry. To be fair, we should have absolutely done you in that game. We had so many chances.
But back to Bolton. I'll give them credit. They really are pushing. As from a Barrow perspective, I really feel sorry for them because they had a wonderful manager in Ian Everett, and they played that Barrow-Salona style football that they were described as having in the Vanarama National League. It was officially described as Barrow-Salona. It was one. I kept an eye on it. I kept an eye on it in the National League last season. It was wonderful to watch. And Holker Street is a good stadium. Barrow had that classic history in the Football League, so it was nice to see them in the modern day EFL, even though it is run by clowns. But from a Bolton perspective, I could see them getting playoffs, and you never know. I think they've got a chance of winning it. I think Bolton could go back up to League One. It should be the revival of Bolton.
Definitely, I would agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously they were struggling, weren't they? They've had a few injuries, but obviously when you've got Owen Doyle and obviously somehow I don't know what's happened to Marcus Maddison, how he was linked with a big move, linked with Sunderland, and then he's got this stupid headband. I don't know if you've seen it, any of you.
Yeah,
it looks like a complete tool, but
it looks like
they've got the class.
It looks like the long lost cousin of Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what he's playing at, but I mean, when you've got Maddison, obviously your ex-player Sarcevic, and Owen Doyle, going forward, you've always got a chance.
Barrow-Salona. Indiana's absolutely dying in the comments today.
He's loving it, mate.
We have one comment back to Doncaster, though. There's one comment here. Big mistake by my club, Donny, to appoint Butts until the end of the season. Cheap option, in my opinion. We need to get Cowley brothers now.
Like, what I would say with that is, firstly, I think, in my opinion, it's not a mistake because it's good to have that club through and through in the managerial department. And secondly, this is just till the end of the season. This is hopefully to keep keep steering us back on course, get us promoted either via automatics or through the playoffs, don't care which, or promoted. And then in the Championship, we then have the contracts to sign for the first teamers with the money we got for compensation from more going. And we have the tools then in the summer for Cowley Brothers or Lampard or whoever to come in and build this team up with the nationalities, with the right players, with the way they want to play, because the Cowley Brothers play exciting football. Lampard plays exciting football. Henry plays exciting football. So many play exciting football. It could literally be anyone. I think, and I said the Cowley Brothers were my favourite choice. So I think it's better for them to come in next season rather than now, because they can then have that full season to look at it and say, right, we'll bring in our players. We'll take this club in the right direction. We'll give this club top flight football.
It's going to be interesting. But I mean, like I said, it could go either way. You could, because I mean, if I was a Donny fan, I'd probably, I know he's sort of like a legend, but man, big up Dan Wilkinson as well. But yeah, I think it, like I said, it could go either way. But if I was a Donny fan myself, I'd want a proper manager. But hopefully, for Donny that he can do well. And obviously, like I said, you still got the games in hand. So best of luck for the season. But obviously, not when you play us.
But next season, I'm praying for Lampard.
It could work.
Lampard,
The last League Two game we'll talk about is there's a couple of rivals in the comments tonight. Carlisle versus Oldham. Yeah, wasn't a good day for Carlisle. And
Chris Welch in the comments.
Yeah, Chris in the comments. But don't say that you can't get the playoffs. You've got 4 games in hand, and you're 4 points behind. Trust me, Carlisle are my pick to go up. I think they've got a really good operation up there, and it's going to be an interesting one to watch, really.
Carlisle United were always going to be one of my picks to go up from League Two this season. I think if the league table's looking as it is, I would go. My 4 teams to go up would be Cambridge, Forest Green, Cheltenham, and Carlisle through the playoffs. So, I think that's what I'd be predicting. From an Oldham point of view, they need new owners. Desperately need new owners, because they're going through a really rough patch over this last season or two. Like Southend, like Grimsby to an extent as well. That's why Holloway left. And, I think it's just that last push now to get a new owner in the door at Oldham and bring back those good times, those brightening days to Boundary Park.
Charlie said spot on about the owners. Chris, I hope you're right. We are right. Trust us.
I mean, that's
And again, EFL lets through the owners in the door. Spot on, EFL. Well done.
Yeah, that's the obviously only thing. It's a bit like Donny. You're both doing well, but like Carlisle, it's good and bad to have the games in hand, because obviously Carlisle have been on, because I know him. He tunes into a lot of my streams, and he always says about Carlisle. So I know they've got obviously a lot of games in hand, but they need to get back on track. And hopefully they'll get the playoffs like Donny and maybe even Plymouth. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So that was all the games we're going to cover. We would go for every League Two game, but we'll be here for years.
Yeah, I'll look at them myself, and I'll conduct my own thoughts.
Mark responding with, I want a proper manager, to be honest. I can't see it working, but I'll support Butts. Defo board taking cheap option here. Our job at the moment is appalling. Will it be if we fail this season? Yeah, I mean...
Well, to be honest with you, like I said, I think it's just till the end of the season. Butler will either get back playing again, because he didn't say it was full-time hanging up his boots. It's just for now, at least, for the foreseeable future. So maybe he'll come back as a player next season, but I could see him in the coaching department. Now he's resigned from the Doncaster Bells. So we're looking at Butler to the end of the season. Yes, people say it's a cheap option, but in my personal opinion, it's just to steer us back on course to the end of the season.
Someone who knows the club. It's someone who knows the club.
Exactly.
It's not the worst move in the world.
Definitely. And then next season we'll have that proper managerial standpoint, whether it's the Cowley brothers and the coaching staff, Lampard and the coaching staff, Benitez and the coaching staff.
Even Butler if he does a good job.
Butler could be good. There is the option. They've given him the option to be permanent next season. And if Coppinger does his coaching badges when he retires at the end of this season, I could see Coppinger being the manager as well.
Yeah, or maybe Butler as manager.
It's written in the stars. It's like Tiny Temper written in the stars.
Yeah, it makes
Temper. What a bloke.
It makes sense to do it this way. You don't want someone unknown coming into League One because it is such a close and tough league.
The reason why you don't do that is just it disrupts the chemistry of the squad. It disrupts the chemistry of the club. We've got, in my opinion, the best run club, one of the best run clubs in English football out of all 4 divisions. And the reason why I say that is because our board listens to the fans. They include the fans. They make us feel part of the club instead of underneath them. It's not like Newcastle. It's not like West Ham at times. It's not like Arsenal at times or Man United. We all are one club. We're not fans below ownership and players, etc. We're all one club. And we now need the promotions, the money, and the right manager in place to show that. So like I said, if we go up this season, perfect. Because now we're in the championship with first teamers, new signings, and a brand new managerial department to take us up a level.
Yeah, totally agree. Liam saying Argyle play Rovers at Home Park on the 20th of March. Question for Charlie. What's your prediction for that game? Mine is 2-0 Argyle. It's at Home Park, by the way.
I'll go 2-1.
I agree with Liam. It's going to be 2-0.
It depends because we obviously battered you the last time.
Yeah, but that won't happen again.
I mean, because now we've got Barton. If he can play like we did against Shrewsbury, obviously there's a lot of tough games. I think we've got 8 games this month, but I don't know. We've got an all right record at Plymouth. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it.
I go with the 2-1 win to Plymouth. Yeah. I think Bristol Rovers might get a goal in there, but I think Plymouth will just try and dominate the ball, or it'll be a case of Bristol Rovers on the ball and can't finish the chances, but Plymouth can.
And on that weekend or that Monday, one of me or Charlie will either be drunk or not here. Or it'll be a draw. It'll be one of them. But I do want to go into some of the key players. Indiana saying Southwest Showdown. Yeah.
Southwest Showdown.
Extra nowhere to be seen. But I do want to go into some of the loans that have been going on. We'll start with Luke McCormick at Bristol Rovers. How's he getting on?
Mate, he's a baller. He's so good. Obviously, on loan from Chelsea, he's got better as the season's gone on. Scored quite a few goals in the last couple of weeks. He is everywhere. The stamina, his quality, and hopefully, I think he's out of contract at Chelsea at the end of the season. So hopefully we can sign him on a permanent. But I wouldn't be surprised if higher clubs are looking at him because he's been quality. Always gives 100% and his class on the ball.
His stats are good. That's I can tell you that much. I look at obviously before we do this every Sunday, I'm looking around and looking at their stats, and he's one that every single weekend I'm looking at, and I'm like, crikey, them stats. I think it was like 7 long balls, a 75% pass accuracy, which is class. Really, dictates play well from what I can see. We got Liam Miller at Charlton. Pass accuracy was good. He had a bit of a quiet game though. His passing was strong, but everything else was pretty quiet from him. Which it sort of everyone goes through them. The one I want to talk about though, Matt Smith at Doncaster. How's he getting on?
I'd say that Ipswich was very, very quiet. I'm going to say it's not his best game in the world, but what I will say is on his best day, it's like Ilkay Silky at Man City. He's like Ilkay Gundogan. He's brilliant. Do you see? I think it was the Wimbledon match. You see the viral pass that he made where he sliced his foot through the ball, and it was a nice bending pass to the opposite side of the pitch that went viral. That was you could see in that pass alone, as well as the rest of his games this season, that Pep Guardiola in him. You could see he's been learning from Pep Guardiola, and he's been learning that playing style. So we're giving him the development ready for when the likes of Fernando, Ilkay Gundogan move on or retire. Kevin De Bruyne moves on if he does move on. When those players move on, the likes of Phil Foden steps up, Matt Smith steps up. He's got then the technical abilities as a box-to-box playmaker to play the Pep Guardiola style. So fair play to Matt Smith. He's having a good season, and it's been it was revealed actually in January how we had to really plead and fight to keep him for the second half of his loan spell. So, and it's worth it in the end. So, it's a good job by Rovers again on the recruitment side of things. But Matt Smith, man, what a midfielder! And again, like Matthew Mills back in the day, another Man City purchase.
If the youngster's doing well, don't move them. That's my recommendation to any top club is when a young player, we've seen them at Argyle, when they're doing well, don't move them because you're more likely to hinder their progress if you do move them.
Taylor Richards is another example. He's
class. He looks quality.
He has been, in my opinion, probably along with Tom Anderson at times, but in my opinion, consistently, he has been the player of the season for Doncaster Rovers. He is Doncaster Rovers Player of the Year. He has just been the Kevin De Bruyne we've been waiting for. 20-yard shots, physical. It's not even just the fact that he's a technical presence in that cam position. He can do 20-yard shots like a proper Kevin De Bruyne player. He's got the physical strength attributes of a defensive midfielder or a centre-back mixed with a technical cam ability in that position. He can drop back and do the holding work with the defensive and strength attributes. And he can go forward most of the times and play like Kevin De Bruyne. He's just, if we get him on a permanent deal, if we go up this season, it will be one of the bargains of the flaming century.
And on this comment, Charlie, you're right. That does make me laugh a lot. Tin Pot Club. Indiana making a comment that, and you want the quality of your club. It's not even that. I have seen so many youngsters go back to their parent club, get another loan, and they
do crap
because they've built that relationship with that coaching team, right? They're doing well for a reason because of the relationship.
I think with Matt Smith as well as Taylor Richards, especially if we're going to have new managers coming in next season, they're the two players. If Brighton and Man City are going to let them go, they are the two players that I would want to keep at this club in terms of loanees. Balcom's going to go back to Brentford. John Jules will be back at Arsenal unless they decide to cut their losses. But if there's two loanees I want to keep at this club, it's Richards and Smith. And I think if Danny Cowler's coming into this club next season, I'd be looking at Richards and Smith and saying, I want those guys in my club.
Yeah. What was Troy Parrott like? Obviously, he's on loan from Spurs at Ipswich. Did you see much of him?
He did quite well. I'd say he's a good young talent. And what I will say about Troy Parrott is I think from a Spurs point of view, he is the long-term talent that's going to take over from Harry Kane once Harry Kane either retires or moves to a club that's going to win trophies. And Parrott's got the skills. He's got the skills. He can do stuff. I've seen him do stuff in that game, and I think he could threaten us at times. But from a Troy Parrott point of view, in terms of his development, I think this is wonderful, especially with Ipswich getting their new manager at some point. I think this is good development for him for the rest of this season, and it'll lead into working under the Spurs manager, whether that's Nagelsmann or Jose Mourinho still.
Yeah, 100%. And who's Donny's biggest rivals?
Rotherham
and Sheffield United and Leeds, but I'd probably say Sheff Wednesday's moved up the ranks a bit now.
Oh, Wednesday.
There's
one thing I was going to say about Parrott. The only problem with Parrott is I don't think, because obviously he had that look, because there was it on the First XI or was it a different channel? They was comparing like young players. I think it might have been on. Was it the one that you was on?
Oh, it might have been. Oh yeah. It was a Football Addiction before it got rebranded.
Yeah, because he's. I don't think he was at Millwall, wasn't he, early on in the season? Then Tottenham recalled him because he didn't score a goal. I still don't think he scored. I still don't think he scored at Ipswich. Mind, he's played like 30 games.
It was RJ that put him in the tier below world class, and
I
was.
That's what I mean. He's not even scored this season. He's not even done that well in League One.
He's not having a great season, but he will get better.
More games come, the better.
The next three are all on loan at Argyle. So who better to talk about Keelan Watts, Adam Lewis, and Jerome Opoku. Keelan Watts, a great tidy game, apart from the penalty conceded. Bad Keelan. Go sit on the naughty step and no Mars bar for you this weekend. But in terms of his all-round play, he had 5 clearances. He made 4 interceptions, 2 tackles. A great all-round. He's sort of, when he first came down here, he was not quiet, but he was a bit nervous about touching the ball and all of that. He's had more penalty shouts than I've had hot dinners. Most of them for handballs, if you could believe it or not. Both of them to protect his face. So I put on Twitter asking Ryan Lowe to pelt about 20 balls directly at his face with his hands handcuffed behind his back, just to teach him how to take a hit to the face like a man.
Just
with
head
a
the ball, innit?
Yeah,
just take a hit, like don't give away
just take one for the team, innit? Don't just
Exactly.
stick your hands out like that, like.
Yeah, it was more like that.
Have the balls to stand up and take one for the team.
Yeah, exactly. But since then, he's had a really great season. Very tidy defender on loan from Newcastle. Hopefully, we'll get him back for another season. He's been absolutely terrific. Adam Lewis is on loan from Liverpool. He's had an injury that sort of prevented him from kicking on, but he's really starting to kick on now. He loves a good cross, which is exactly what we need on the left-hand side, especially with George Cooper out injured. He was one of the main reasons for a couple of our goals as well. A very good performance.
Didn't he score in your win at Sunderland?
He did.
First goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then he got told off he got told off by the EFL for hugging a player. No, I mean, at that point, I just responded with my middle finger. I was like, yeah, just do one. You don't even care about these players. Let's not get twisted. But Jerome Opoku also had a very good game, and the bit that always impresses me with Opoku, his pass accuracy is second to none. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Every time I watch him, he's always connecting them. He doesn't do too many long balls either. It's very much he'll pass it into the midfield a lot of the time to Fornal, or he'll get over to the wings with Conor Grant or more.
It's either short passing or direct passing, and he'll work it. He'll use the wing orientated play to his advantage as well.
Yeah, he's a very
he's a proper tank as well, and he's only a young. He's only young, isn't he? But he's like 6'5" or something like that.
Yeah. You don't want to mate, I'm not going to lie to you, right? If I caught Opoku in bed, if I had a girlfriend, I'd tuck him in and ask him if he wants any coffee bringing up.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's on loan from Fulham, and I fully expect
Fulham.
If they do go down, I fully expect he'll play a part in the Championship for him because he's that good already. But Fulham fans, if you're watching, you've got a good one there.
I think Fulham might stay up though. I think Newcastle will go down instead of Fulham. I think if Fulham stay up anyway, I think Opoku will show signs that he will do something in the Premier League. By the way, Everton 1-0 up against Northampton. Just got it.
Who scored?
Don't know. It just came up on SofaScore saying 1-0. I'm going to get a notification from the Premier League though in about 10 seconds just to say who the goal scorer was.
That's fair.
Hopefully, Calvin-Lewin.
Either Newcastle or Fulham, you've got a good defender for when you go down, because I fully expect it'll be one of them clubs, in my opinion, that go down. Moving to League Two quickly on loan. Bobby Thomas, he had a shocking game when he came on. He had 26% pass accuracy, which was horrific. He did make 9 clearances and 3 blocks, but with that pass accuracy, it's never going to do well. It's either 26 or 76, one or two. It might be 76, one or two. It's one of them. I can't even read my own handwriting sometimes. Then you've got Harry Clark on loan from Arsenal. He's at Oldham. Oh, his was the 20. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. His was the 24% pass accuracy.
God, that is bad, isn't it?
That is horrific. He made
that was worse than Bruno's at the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely horrific.
Just to confirm, the goal scorer for Everton was Richarlison.
Oh, Richarlison. Of course it was Richarlison.
Yeah, so Southampton not in a good run of form.
No, they're struggling. And then next we've got Jamie Cumming. He's a goalkeeper. His passing accuracy was 37%, but when you hoof in the ball playing for Stevenage, I don't expect you to have good pass accuracy, to be completely honest.
You know what? To be fair, I highlight Jamie. I highlight Jamie Cumming. He's on loan from Chelsea, isn't he? So and he's a good young up and coming goalkeeper. I've seen stats from him in the youth when he's been playing in the youth at Chelsea. I think he's a good young up and coming youth English goalkeeper. So Stevenage are playing him the way they want to play him for now. But I think once he gets back into that Chelsea setup, he's going to be all guns blazing in the youth academy.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job, and his stats from that game were 2 saves, 1 from inside the box, 1 punch, and 1 high claim. So a very tidy all-round game from him, really.
Yeah.
Deshaun
I was going to say,
Bernard. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, just I'm not sure if you got him on your list, but one player that Indiana should know about, and we touched on it a couple of weeks ago, Ethan Laird. Have you seen how good he's doing on loan from United, mate? He's an absolute
done really well.
baller.
He didn't play at the weekend though, so
did he not?
He didn't play. Else he would have been on my list. He would have been on the list if he had been playing.
But I think
he's having a very good loan.
But I think he can. He looks so good. He's better than Dallo, and I think he could be on the level of Wan-Bissaka in the future.
He's just, it's crazy because I've seen his dribbling. He dribbles like Mbappe. He reminds me of Mbappe with his dribbling. Honestly, I've seen it. Like, I'm dreading it when he plays against us, mate, because he's going to tear us apart down the left-hand side.
And it just shows what kind of recruitment that MK Dons have done in January compared to the summer, because they've done some good summer recruitment, but they've got the experience in the likes of Sermon and Jerome and McCaffrey, but they've also brought in the likes of Ethan Laird with the youngsters. So, Russell Martin's doing an incredible job with MK Dons where they were at the start of the season when they thought they were going to be in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
Talking of another United loanee, Deshaun Bernard on loan at Salford.
Salford, yeah.
Yeah, not much to really say. It was pretty boring game against Southend. It finished 0-0, but he did make 5 tackles. He looked again very tidy, a very good centre back for Salford this season.
Again, a good young English talent for Man United. Yeah. Again, a good young talent. I think again Salford are right in that promotion hunt, because Salford have grown as a club over the last few years, 110% with the class of '92 backing them. And I think again, like Accrington, it's just the stadium to back it up now, because I think Salford, could be a future Premier League team, and that's not even overreacting. I think Salford could be competing at the top level in the future. We could be expecting 3 Manchester derbies.
I'd agree.
That'd be mad, wouldn't
it? It would be. Would be mad.
It's like saying there's going to be 3 Merseyside derbies if Tranmere went to the Premier League. So,
but yeah, of course, United loaning Salford a player. Why wouldn't they be doing that? I wonder why they're loaning them to Salford. Maybe it is the class of '92. Maybe the Football League might want to have a little look at. I just don't like Salford.
I don't either.
They're the epitome of money grabbing something.
Yeah.
It's like Man City without being at the top level.
Ipswich have been absolutely horrific this season. So yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on obviously Lambert leaving? It was about time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that even though they beat us, even though they beat Hull in the last couple of weeks, what has been sort of going on off the scenes with Chairman Marcus Evans, with the attack on the stadium. Ipswich are just really in a toxic situation right now. There is obviously the talks of the near £18 million worth takeover from Brett Johnson and the Phoenix Rising, the US consortium taking over. Yeah. In my personal opinion, you're probably looking here at Paul Cook looking to replace him. I mean, I've heard whisperings of Ross Embleton coming in, but I don't see that as first choice. I see Paul Cook and then Ross Embleton as assistant manager to Paul Cook. And Ross Embleton steadied the ship at Leyton Orient after the unfortunate death of Justin Edinburgh. And, Paul Cook's done a really good job in his managerial career. So you've got you've got a young up-and-coming manager as assistant to a good experienced EFL manager. And I think that when you look at the whole situation, I think Paul Lambert's time was coming, even though we got the wins against Hull and against us. Even though we dominated the play, they scrapped the result. And Ipswich can't keep going every season, scrapping every result, because I think the last couple of seasons, they've bottled the chance to go back up. They bottled the chance to go back up. They were relegated down to League One, bottled the chance to go up, and they're bottling the chance to go up again this year. So they need to make a change. Apparently, according to the social media posts, the differences in opinions between the chairman and the manager was the reason why Lambert's part of company. But I think that's just social media talk for, well, we're getting a takeover at Ipswich, but I don't want to look like the bad guy here, so I'm going to say that Lambert's just said goodbye and move on. So
yeah,
I don't rate the Ipswich chairman. I don't think he's a good owner of football. And I think for Ipswich fans, the sooner they get the takeover, the better. And in my opinion, if they do get the takeover with Paul Cook going into next season, give it 5 years, they'll be in the Championship and maybe even fighting at the top level of the Championship.
Yeah, definitely. The Ipswich fans hated Lambert for quite some time now, so it was always going to happen at some point. But Charlie, what's your thoughts on obviously Ipswich and Lambert leaving?
Yeah, like obviously if you touched on it, it's been coming really. I've seen a lot of Ipswich vloggers on YouTube and everywhere really, all the League One pages going mad about it. There's been a massive argument with the fans, and it's been going on for quite a long time. Even last season that they weren't happy with the way he changes the team and always changes the formation. And obviously I think they've won their last 3 or 4, but it was coming, and obviously Paul Cook's meant to be the man. They should be up very quickly. They could even go out this season. They've been on good form, and if they get Paul Cook in, they could go up. They're on good form.
Charlie's also a Man City fan, so he's seeing an agenda alert somewhere. One of us must have mentioned City's finances somewhere. In the
I think it's because I said Salford City's like the Man City, but not.
Oh yeah.
Aaron.
You've been put on agenda alert for that. Mark saying Ipswich will finish in the playoffs. I mean, it's not as easy to say that, to be honest with you. And then Chris saying Carlisle away tomorrow. To Colchester tomorrow. No excuses. I expect us to beat Colchester side in 21st. If we don't, we should retire, like Roy Keane says.
I'd agree with that because I think Colchester's going through a No, not retiring. But I'd agree with the fact that Carlisle should be beating Colchester because Colchester are going through a managerial crisis. They need a new manager to help steer them away from trouble, and I think that Colchester are too good to be in trouble. So they're going through a bit of a bad patch, but hopefully once they get the managerial stuff sorted off the pitch, they can move on and steer away from trouble and then go again, maybe for a promotion hunt into League One next season.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with you there. But we're going to end it there, guys. For everyone watching, thanks for watching. It's been a great show. I've really enjoyed myself. Make sure you smash in that like button, subscribe to the channel, and with notifications on, share the link on all your socials. So if anyone didn't quite get to be here for the live stream, they can come and watch the replay. It'll be a good one. But before we go, Aaron, where can they find you, bro?
So I've got 2 channels. So if you're a theme park lover, you can tune into Coaster Chow, which is on the road to hopefully getting to 4,000 subs by the end of the year and 1 million views. So it'd be great to have that support. But if you want to check out the Donny content, Forever Football, DRFC, we've just hit 400 subscribers tonight. So massive. And I've only been doing this the first season, so it's only going to get bigger and better from here. So make sure you go and like, comment, subscribe on Forever Football, DRFC, and keep living the Rovers life. And that's full time.
Yeah, and we've killed Indiana by the looks of it. There has been some funny moments in it. It's been good. And Liam says, no, not 2 hours this time. No, not quite 2 hours. I don't think I've done a stream on here that's been 2 hours. I can't remember if we have. It's been a weird one. But Charlie, where can they find you, bro?
Yeah, just One Ravers Vlogs on YouTube, nearly at 1,100 subscribers. So yeah, feel free to sub or Twitter at Hayne_Charlie. But yeah, peace out for having me on the show, and big up to Indiana as well, and obviously Aaron coming on as well. It's been a great stream.
Yeah, definitely. And you can find me on Twitter at Niall_PAFC, and you can also find me on our YouTube channel, Let's Talk Premier League. It's basically there was a lot of things. Sonny wanted to go and rebrand the Football Addiction to Liverpool Addiction. So we've all moved over to Let's Talk Premier League. We've got another stream at 8:30 over there that I'll be hosting, jumping off this one, going straight there, where we'll be doing the weekly review show. It's going to be a good one. Got all the rivals on, so it's going to be, you just know it's all going to absolutely
it's going to be like World War III. It's just going to explode. Yeah. But good luck to you guys for your next match. Good luck to Bristol Rovers for your next match, and hopefully definitely. We go down to Pompey and keep Southampton fans happy if they lose tonight.
Yeah, And I hope you get a draw tomorrow out of no disrespect. I just want as many people in that playoff fight as possible. But also everyone watching, a big thanks to everyone watching. It's been a great show. Love the comments. And yeah, we'll be back again next Monday, 7 p.m. to discuss everything that's happened in the next coming week and all the big action from the weekend. So make sure you tune in there. And yeah, I'll see you again next Monday at 7 o'clock. But until then, cheers, guys.
Big up, people.
Big up.